Good morning. Welcome. My name is Dave Schmidtlein, and I'm Dean of MIT's Sloan School of Management. Welcome to the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference. I'd like to start with a survey, if I could. How many people are here at this conference for the first time? Can I see a show of hands, please?
Wow.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for coming. A special welcome. I hope you have an amazing 2 days. Can I see another show of hands? How many people are here who have been to this conference before? That's also amazing. Welcome back. Please keep coming back. And for those who are in their first year, please talk to some of the people who come back and ask them what they love about this conference. I love this conference. I think it's really important to sports, but also to management, to the world, and it's certainly important to MIT. In the early years of this conference, it was in large part around issues of player selection and compensation and so on, and broadened out to in-game strategy. And through the years, you've seen, those of you who have been here from the early times, you've seen it broaden out even further to fan engagement, to the stadium management, and on and on. This year is the best year ever, the largest year ever for this conference. It's really become the place that people who care about sports analytics come together to learn, to make a difference. I'm grateful to the sponsors of this conference. This conference couldn't happen without their support, but even beyond that, these are the organizations who are leading analytics, and we're just delighted and proud to be associated with them. I also want to offer a couple other thanks, if I could. First, I want to thank the faculty director for the MIT Sloan School, Professor Sinan Aral, who's lent his time to the development of this activity. I want to thank the speakers who have come from, in many cases, far and wide, but also who are incredibly in demand. And we're so fortunate and grateful to have them with us here today and tomorrow. I want to thank the MIT Sloan students who have done an amazing, amazing job in pulling this group together. We have, as I understand it, over 3,000 people here at this conference. It's one of the signature events that we do each year. And the leadership of those students is represented here on stage. You'll hear from them in a few minutes by Aaron Golden and Sam Ebb. And I'm grateful to them and to the whole team who have put this together. And finally, I want to say a great word of thanks to the people who have, the two people who are the originators of this conference. This conference is really a reflection of their vision and their passion and their leadership. Jessica Gelman and Darryl Mori have the right to all of our gratitude. Jessica, as you know, is the CEO of the Kraft Analytics Group and is a graduate of Harvard Business School. And she and her friend, Darryl Mori, who's an MIT Sloan alumnus and is general manager of the Houston Rockets, are really the people who, I think 11 years ago, if I have the number right, said the time is right for analytics to develop in sport. We ought to be the place that it happens, and how right were they? Would you please offer your applause, your thanks to Jessica and Darryl?
Thank you, Dean. Thank to MIT for making this possible. So, good morning, everybody. Very excited to be here, and I'm glad the Dean touched on the start of the conference 11 years ago. This year the theme is to elevate and how analytics has elevated and changed the game. And to demonstrate this, I'm going to use a new technology called slides. First time in our opening remarks. Okay, here we go. All right, so you go back to the start of the conference, that's on the bottom left, and look at, for example, now baseball, for the first time ever, we've got Billy Beane here, which we're very excited about this year. Obviously, the feature of the book Moneyball and one of the great innovators. So baseball is ahead, but back when this conference started, the NFL and basketball was still really developing. And looking at the NFL here, some of the early work and the discussions in that first year was about how the pass was underutilized relative to the run. And you can see the growth of the pass versus the run, including one of those innovative teams happens to be to my left, the Patriots. The two Super Bowl teams this year were both top 3 in passing versus running. Now with the Patriots, you had to adjust for that one guy who wasn't there the first 4 weeks, and you have to adjust for the fact they were ahead a lot. But other than that, they were, both of those teams were extremely pass versus run. Moving on to the NBA, obviously this is one people talk about all the time, but again, in that early conference discussed is the use of the three-point shot. And the growth in that is dramatic, from being around a third of the shots to, I mean, it's dramatically, almost half of the shots that are taken as a ratio to twos, which is, really an incredible development. And just to really emphasize the impact of this conference, so one of the great innovators in the game, Mike D'Antoni, who we were lucky enough to hire this year, was at the conference 2 years ago and talked about how he had innovated with his teams years ago, actually around the start of the conference, the use of the three-point shot. But coming here gave him the confidence to really push the envelope, and you can see that. You look at our Houston Rockets back when the conference was founded, and now look under Coach D'Antoni. I mean, it's a pretty dramatic change. And now we're just waiting for, in fact, in football, and I'm going to turn it over to, actually I'm going to say one more thing and turn it over to Jessica. We're still waiting for football to stop punting so much. So that's actually the title of our football panel this year. So last I wanted to talk about, one other thing I'm very excited about is esports. We were the first sports conference to have a panel on that 6 years ago. The growth has been incredible. I think it's going to be top 2 sport, and nobody knows. I could make a number up, but like 25 years. And we have Activision here, Bobby Kotick, who's announced a new North American sports league in esports and Overwatch, and obviously sports like League of Legends, Dota are also announcing their move into franchises over time. So it's all happening here. Jessica.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Darryl, Professor Mori, I guess I should say. That was very interesting. Thank you. So welcome, everyone. We are here, obviously, to discuss data and analytics and predictability. And what's been so interesting this year in sports is how unpredictable it has been. So let's start with Leicester City. Obviously, an unlikely premier championship. We had Clemson upset Alabama in the national championship game. We had the Cavs end a 52-year drought and come back from 3 games down to win the NBA title. We had the Cubs end a 108-year drought and come back from 3 games down to win the World Series. We had the Patriots end a 1-year drought to come back.
Don't forget Northwestern.
Oh, and Northwest, yeah. And obviously the Patriots came back, had the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. And I think when we talk a lot up here about data and what is possible, statistically speaking, any of those we would have thought were impossible or very unlikely, to say the least. But this is reality, and this is what makes sports so great and why we love sports. And so I think a good question that we'll all be asking over the course of this conference is, was this an anomaly that so many of these unlikely upsets or situations happened? And if it wasn't an anomaly, what's going on? Is it the players and their training differently? Is it the analytics behind the scenes? Are we in a new phase? So the other thing that we talk about is how many people who have come to the conference who have then gone on to work in sports. Actually, one of our sponsors this year, Number Fire, it's their first year sponsoring, but they met at the conference, the 2 founders, and obviously have had great success. And so you never know who you might be sitting next to in the audience. We have 3,500 people here this year, and we continue to see teams and sports organizations come to the conference. We have 30% more NFL teams this year than previous. We have 75% more MLS teams here than previous. We have 100% more college athletic departments here than previous. And we have over 200 colleges and universities here. And this is also very interesting. 8% of the people who are in attendance today are international. So that's incredible. 27 of them are from Australia. So thank you. We have an amazing lineup, and Darryl has alluded to some of the new things that we're doing, but obviously the heart of what we do are the panels. We have 39 panels this year, and we're fortunate to have a number of the early analytic adopters who are coming back and have been longtime longtime supporters of the conference, including Adam Silver, Casey Wasserman, Jonathan Kraft, Nate Silver, and Mark Cuban is actually coming back this year. I think most of you guys know that. And then we have a number of new speakers in addition to Billy Beane and Bobby Kotick, David Griffin. So outside of the panels, you guys will note if you look at the agenda, we have up to 7 or 8 activities going on concurrently. And we have the 39 competitive advantage talks where we actually invite speakers from the industry to show everyone what they're actually doing with analytics. Last year, we started workshops, and we have 8 of them this year. You can go and learn about data scraping or concession analytics. It's our 8th year of our research paper presented by Wasserman. And as you may or may not know, many of the winners are now working in sports, which is great. I'm not sure if we had necessarily thought that professors would then go and be statisticians for teams, but that is what's happening. Our startup competition, I think this is the 5th year of the startup competition, has grown significantly. Ticketmaster sponsoring that, which allowed us to grow it. But we have 24 companies that are participating in 3 different tracks trying to win $5,000. And then the hackathon actually happened yesterday. We had over 180 people apply for the hackathon. ESPN and Ticketmaster sponsor it and run it. And then 39 were invited to hack for 6 hours. I was very worried about their level of dehydration from all of that work. And there are 3 finalists in each of the 2 categories who will be competing in the finals tomorrow. So I highly encourage you guys to check it out. They're trying to quantify intangibles. So that's very interesting. And then we have a number of new elements that I just want to share and make sure you guys check out. First, a big thank you to Reebok, who's sponsoring our accelerator competition. And there are 5 finalists, and they're competing for up to $50,000 in funding from Reebok. And this is obviously the first time we've had an accelerator program. A number of sports organizations have started these, but we're excited to have this year at Sloan. I'm really surprised you didn't talk about drone racing.
I left it to you.
Yeah, so we have the drone racing exhibition. It is one of Darryl's main interests, obviously, to have that here. So encourage you guys to check that out. We also have a chess simul with chess grandmaster Susan Polgar, who is a 3-time world champion. So she'll be playing up to 10 players at once, including Darryl. And Darryl has readily admitted that he's going to lose. But given the oddities of what's happened this year in sports, and politics, maybe it's your time.
Maybe.
So lastly, we have a couple of thank yous. First and foremost, I want to thank all 22 of our sponsors, and most specifically ESPN, who has been supporting us since really the 2nd conference. And they're fabulous, and thank you guys. Also want to thank Wasserman, who's been with us since the 1st year, and as well as Ticketmaster, who has really, really stepped up, and they're doing innovative work, and we're very happy to be partnered with them. And then the last group, of course, are the students. And this year's group was really, really exceptional. We had 65 students from MIT, and we started the day after the conference ended last year. And these guys have been working tirelessly. Sam and Aaron were obviously the co-leads, and you guys were just tremendous leaders. And I know Darryl and I are just very proud of you. So I would like, if we can give a round of applause to these guys, because they've put together a tremendous job.
All right, thank you, Jess. So first of all, I just wanted to welcome all of you to the 11th Annual Sloan Sports Analytics Conference. I know many of you have traveled from far and wide, as Jessica mentioned. Many of you are coming from abroad as well. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives to come join us here this weekend. As Jess mentioned, my name's Sam Ebb. I'm a 2nd-year MBA student at MIT Sloan. I'm one of the conference co-leads this year, along with Aaron. I want to start by thanking Jess and Darryl. The conference wouldn't be nearly what it is today. It wouldn't be anything at all without the two of you. And Aaron and I wouldn't have come where we have come this year as leaders, as individuals, without your tireless help and support. So it's really been an honor and a pleasure to work with both of you. And on behalf of the whole student organizing team, we just wanted to thank both of you. And then, as Jess mentioned, we have our student organizing team. We've got 65 amazing people who have put countless hours into this. So we wanted to give a thank you to all of you. We've got the most jam-packed agenda we've ever had at the conference. And that wouldn't have happened without the immense amount of work put in by each and every one of our organizers. So to all the organizers out there, I hope you're all proud of what we've put together here. And I hope everyone really enjoys the show here. I want to give a special shout out to our 10 leadership team members. We've got Nick Arch, Jackie Atlas, Luke Booty, Courtney Brown, Mel Chen, Mike Hammer, John Martell, Ryan McPherson, Brian West, and Charles Wu. You guys have done an unbelievable job working, as Jess said, for the last 12 months to make this a reality. You guys have made our lives so much easier. Couldn't have done it without you. Before I pass it off to Aaron, I do want to take a second to say a little bit about what this conference has meant to me. So as a local Bostonian, and go Pats, I grew up reading the sports section. I was the kid you couldn't tear the paper out of my hands in the morning, trying to find any stat about any team or player that I could get my hands on. And when I saw the early coverage of the conference, I was thrilled to see the growth and emergence of the sports analytics field and community. And when I finally got to come to Sloan, I couldn't have been more excited to be a part of this team, be a part of the discussion in the community, and see the development of all of these ideas firsthand. So now, having been on the committee with Aaron for 2 years, helping organize this conference the past couple of years, it's just left me more hopeful for the amazing things that you'll hear about this weekend and what we're going to see going forward. So from the new elements like esports and drones, to finding new frontiers of the sports we've been covering for years and sports we've been trying to analyze and gain new insights into. So I hope you all enjoy, and I can only imagine what we're going to see coming down the pipeline even in the next couple of years, things we haven't even thought of today. So thank you all very much, and with that, I'll pass it off to Aaron.
Thank you, Sam. My name is Erin Golden, and I'm the other co-lead of this conference. Being involved in SSAC last year was the highlight of my first year at Sloan, so I feel very grateful to be sitting here in front of all of you today. All of the student organizers, including Sam and myself, are pursuing MBAs because we really want to be leaders in the workplace. And leading this conference has been such a unique experience, and I think one that has taught me lessons that classroom learning alone really cannot. Nothing has taught me the challenges and rewards of leadership like what we have gone through over the past year. So to be able to sit here in front of all of you and see this all come together, it's just so meaningful. And I hope you get a lot out of it as well. In addition to Jess and Darryl, as well as all of our student organizers, we do want to take time to thank our sponsors, without whom none of this would be possible. ESPN, Wasserman, Ticketmaster, MLB Advanced Media, Reebok, Catapult, DraftKings, Prime Sport, Intel, Ropes & Gray, the Craft Analytics Group, Core, StubHub, AGT, Zebra, Numberfire, CDW, Kitman Labs, SAP, Fanatics, LBI Dynasty, and Origin. Thank you all. These companies have all been incredible supporters of us, so I really hope that you get to take some time to really see what they've brought to the conference this year. So before we get started with our first set of panels for the day, we do want to cover a couple logistic items. First, some of these panel rooms are going to get a bit crowded throughout the weekend, so once you enter, please move to the center of the aisle for seating. Please also download our mobile app. You can find that by searching SSAC in the App Store on your Apple or Android devices. We'll be posting schedule updates, any speaker updates, and actually on that app you can also vote for your favorite research paper poster, and that winner will receive a prize at our Alpha Awards ceremony tomorrow. Next, the Q&A portion of all of our panels this year will be fed through Twitter. So please, when you're tweeting your question, make sure you use the panel-specific hashtag. You can find that in your brochure, on the app, or on the screens that will be behind our speakers in each room. Please refrain from video recording any of our sessions. Those will all be professionally recorded and posted on our website after the conference. Instead, we encourage you to highlight your presence here on social media. Please tweet, post on Instagram, use our Snapchat filters, and use the hashtag SSAC17. And finally, when you're in any of the events this weekend, we'd ask that you silence your cell phones. Our panelists have all taken time out of their very busy schedules to be here, so we want to make sure that they get the respect that they deserve. So on behalf of all of us, thank you all again for coming. We're thrilled to host you, and we hope to make this a very exciting and memorable conference for all of you. Thank you.
We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the Titans of Industry panel.